Since I have the wonderful opportunity to share this platform with two of my beautiful colleagues in the Practitioner Corps, I'm timing myself because we want to make sure that we each get the opportunity to speak. So when I began to think about this idea of what it means for me to be a mom, I'm in the mental muscle course with Reverend James, and our thought intention for these over this weekend has been expectations, and our theme for the month is clarity. So as I was thinking about what it means for me to be a mom, I started to think about that idea of expectations. What am I clear about with regards to who my children are and who I am? And what are my expectations within that context of being a mom? I have a quote for you from Ernest Holmes. And it says, "I live in the faith that there is a presence and power greater than any condition or circumstances, and that it nurtures me and supports me in ways I could not even imagine. I know that this presence is all-knowing and all-power and is always right where I am. And so what I know is the truth for me, I must know is the truth for my children. That right where they are, God is." So people, as the children were growing up, and as I had Maria as my first child, she's 14, and I have Jessica, who is 11. And people have complimented me, which I've been so grateful for. They say, "God, you know, your children are so amazing. They're so wonderful." And I'm like, "Thank you." Thanks a lot. That's good to hear. Thank you. And they say, "What are you doing as a mother that your children are so wonderful?" And, the question kind of caught me off guard as a new mother, and I didn't quite know what to say about that. And I said, "Well, not much. They sort of came this way. And, they came this way. And because I really did mean that. I wasn't trying to have sort of a flippant or snarky remark, and I didn't want to be disrespectful of their compliments. But truly, that's how I felt. They came that way. They came to me that way. And I got to observe that in them. Now, of course, there were times when, as a parent, you are offering guidance and course correction and things like that. And it's interesting to me how I've observed that my children require that. They require that guidance and course correction at times. But what I know is that there were things that I wanted to do as a mom for them that I knew that there were things that my mom did that I wanted to offer to my children, that I just was so valuable and grateful for my mom, for all the things that she provided for me and the ways that she taught me to look at the world and look at myself in the world, and I wanted to offer that to my girls as well. And I realized that there were many times that I required some assistance and support to remember that not only am I their parent, am I their mother, but that they are being mothered and nurtured by this entire universe. And so there were some things that I could, like Reverend Nancy was saying, that I could let go of in terms of my need to feel like I have to tell them something or teach them this or show them that there were other individuals who came around who could be that voice and tell them something that perhaps that they couldn't even hear from me because I was mom. So opening myself up in terms of that, in terms of the universe being their parent, being their mother, to provide in different ways from different people and different voices in a manner that they could hear whatever it was that they needed to hear, that was okay, that was possible to have happen. Just to get back to those times when I may have needed to be reminded of what I can expect for my children. Many of you may know that my daughter Jessica is autistic. She has autism. And when as a parent, you receive that diagnosis the first time, it's pretty daunting, especially if you don't know what autism is. It was something that was I had vaguely heard about, didn't really know what that was. And when you receive that information, it can be very daunting. You don't really know what to do with that, or how you're supposed to follow through and approach with that, or really what your expectations are. And I recall that well-meaning advice individuals, gave us some advice that had the expectation bar pretty low for what to expect. And I'll remember forever Jessica's first preschool teacher. Her name is Mrs. Teddy. And Mrs. Teddy, in one of the first individual education programs that report sessions that as a parent with a child of special needs that you need to attend so that you can be part of their process for the goals and the services to help them be the best that they can be. Your teacher is also involved in that, and so you work directly with your teacher and service providers to help you with that. And I'll never forget Mrs. Teddy. And when I first came into that IEP, I was nervous, I was scared, I didn't know what to expect. And she looked at me and she said, "Mary, I am not here to help your child get into kindergarten." And I said, "Oh, okay, what does that mean?" It's just sort of crumbling inside. And she looked me right in the eye and she said, "I am here to help your child get into college." And for me, that was so immense, because what she did was she knew the truth for my child when I couldn't know it in that moment. And she raised my awareness of what was possible and what I could expect. Now, whether or not my children go to college or whatever they do, what she did in that moment was open up my mental space to envision and expect great things for my daughters, for both of them. And that expansiveness in terms of the universe being present it flooded in with all kinds of individuals and people who were then of support to me and to my family in ways that I could not have imagined. And it continues on. So for me, being a mother means being clear about who I am and who they are, and the expectations that the universe has got this in ways and means that I can't possibly imagine. And the more I let go and surrender into that truth, the more it seems to be revealed. So happy Mother's Day to everyone. And I'm so grateful to every mother and every person who has been that nurturing support to me in my life. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mary. Yes. Our next speaker became a mom when she married her Anamkara and was immediately embraced by his son, Geronimo. Please welcome to the stage our next speaker, the extraordinary Caressa McElhaney.
What's so great about a mother? Why do we celebrate them on this particular day? Could it be for the certain qualities that we aspire to exhibit ourselves, like patience, acceptance, love, wisdom? The fact that they are our earliest teachers and caregivers. I know that I learned just from watching my mom, just from watching her enjoy life, which she does with abundance, extravagance. So I can relate to a quote that Mark Twain said. He says, "My mother had a great deal of trouble with me, but I think she enjoyed it." Like the time when I was about 6 and I was getting my hair cut, and I did not want to get my hair cut. And halfway through, I ripped off the cape and I stormed out of the barber shop or beauty parlor, whatever it was, and I was very defiant. And my mom took every bit of courage, calm, and patience that she possessed to lovingly coax me back into the chair with half of a chopped haircut to get the rest done. So, or another time when my mom was having some kind of little meeting. I'm not sure what it was. A bunch of ladies were in our kitchen, sitting around the kitchen table, and I run in and threw up in the sink. Calmness, patience, acceptance, perhaps a little genteel reminder, teaching me that it might be better to run a few more steps down the hall to the bathroom. Or the time in high school when I was planning on going to New York. A friend of mine invited me to go to New York City, which was one of my dreams, to go to New York. And at the last minute, the trip was canceled. I was devastated. I was so upset and just heartbroken and crying. And my mom, even though she did not understand the depth or the reason, really, for my heartbreak, she still gave me exactly what she had to give, which was simple love and comfort, just sitting with me, being with me. Or, of course, wisdom, when I discover that, usually in hindsight, that she's always right, usually about guys. So we celebrate our moms for those qualities that seem the particular domain of mothers. The greatest one, of course, being love. Marianne Williamson says that love is to people like water is to plants. Now, how many times have you walked by a plant that is seriously drooping, and what's your first reaction? You run and get it some water. And what is so interesting is that almost instantaneously, you can see the plant start to perk up. So, why aren't we that observant with people? The people need that same exact tender, loving care. When we see someone that is drooping, we can run and give them exactly what we have to give, which is love, that we all have in abundance. So, in that sense, that we can give love to another person that needs it, we are all mothers. We all have the same qualities that mothers have. We possess wisdom. We possess patience. We can accept. We have the ability to care for others, to teach by example, to notice when they're in need, and give them love. I was looking up the origins of Mother's Day, especially in the States, and there were 3 women who were primarily responsible for the holiday of Mother's Day. The first one was in 1858. I believe her name is Anna Jarvis, and she was an Appalachian mother, lived in the Appalachian Mountains, and wanted to create a holiday for women that would celebrate and commemorate their contributions. So she worked tirelessly for this and other women's issues, but was not able to accomplish it in her lifetime. So her daughter, also named Anna, took up the cause, and eventually, after over 50 years, Congress finally passed a resolution to create Mother's Day, and that was in 1914. So Mother's Day is 100 years old today. I didn't know that. I know. So the other woman you've probably heard of, her name is Julia Ward Howe. She wrote the Battle Hymn of the Republic. She was a poet, a suffragette, and a pacifist in Boston in 1872. She created a holiday for mothers, and it was really to call them together. And she wrote this amazing document called the Mother's Day Proclamation. So what I love about it is it salutes many of the qualities that I think mothers and women in general are capable of. So the opening goes like this. Arise then, women of this day. Arise, all women who have hearts, whether your baptism be of water or of tears. Say firmly, we will not have questions decided by irrelevant agencies. Our husbands shall not come to us reeking of carnage for caresses and applause. Our sons shall not be taken from us to unlearn all that we have been able to teach them of charity, mercy, and patience. We women of one country will be too tender to those of another country to allow our sons to be trained to injure theirs. And then it goes on to invite women from all over the world to come together and and work on creating solutions for peace. So what I love about it, I think it really captures the essence of why we celebrate mothers and what we celebrate them for. The ability to be strong and pliable at the same time, to stand up for what they believe, but also be able to and willing to listen to others, to exhibit patience, tolerance, wisdom in all our dealings, and by example teach our children to do the same thing. But above all, to love, to look with love, to react with love, and simply to give love. And they do that so well. I really think they need a Mother's Day month. By the way, I'm wearing this dress in honor of my mother. My dad was in the Korean War, and when he was in Hong Kong, brought back some things from my mom. This dress was one of them. And so I'm so honored and blessed to have it hanging in my closet now. So I just wanted to say Happy Mother's Day, Mom, and to all of you. Thank you.
Our final speaker of the day, thank you, Caressa, so moving. Our final speaker of the day is a mother of twins. I didn't know that we have that in common. We'll have to chat. Ellen Contente is a powerful speaker and teacher who travels the world inspiring others. And today she's here to inspire us with some insight on a mother's wisdom. Let's welcome Ellen Contente.
Good morning. Well, I obviously need to get with the ages because my other two ladies had pads that they were speaking from, and I have paper. Thank you. Well, there's so many things I want to talk about, but first of all, I think it's really cool that I get to speak on Mother's Day because I got to speak on Father's Day as well a couple years ago. So, and I think Easter as well. So maybe I'm the holiday speaker. I want to thank Caressa and Mary for laying the groundwork because I'm taking a little bit of a different tact. Yesterday I was at Disney celebrating with my husband and the kids for his birthday. And the last ride we went on, and yes, I went on another ride. We went in Space Mountain, and I hadn't been on it before, and I remember enjoying it. It was fun. I didn't remember all the details of it. But as I was on the ride and I recognized that it's all in the dark and there's a lot of ups and downs and twists and turns, oh my God, that's just like being a mom, right? So what is a mother, right? According to the dictionary, only a woman could be a mother. But mother, the verb, states to be or act as mother to someone, to care for or protect as mother. And Oprah Winfrey said, biology is the least of what makes someone a mother. And many of us can relate to that. For me, science made me a mother. So today, on Mother's Day, I hereby proclaim that we are all mothers. Mothers of invention, mothers of creation, the motherlode of all mothers, God. There's many songs that have been written about mothers. There's many quotes that have been stated about mothers. And I wanted to share a few of my favorite quotes, my spiritual mentor for motherhood, which is Irma Bombeck. She says, a suburban mother's role is to deliver children obstetrically once and by car forever after. Then, she goes on to say, it goes without saying that you should never have more children than you have car windows. And the one I really relate to now. I take a very practical view of raising children. I put a sign in each one of their rooms. Checkout time is 18 years. And my children have 2 years, 10 months, 5 days left. Now, mothers have many roles throughout the stages of motherhood. Many will test you to the limits, right, as life does. And let's be clear, since clarity is the word of the month, is once a mom, always a mom. So no matter what stage or role you're in, as our mission statement states, we need to love only, forgive everything, and remember who we are. Well, my talk title today is Mother May I. So during the stage of pregnancy, my role was primarily that of precious cargo carrier. And as such, I experienced, Mother, may I kick you and give you indigestion? So how many of you have ever felt that kick of spirit's desire for you to birth yourself as a new person? And sometimes, doesn't it give you indigestion just thinking about the changes that it will bring? We have to love only the feelings of life wanting to express through us, wanting us to expand and move forward. We have to forgive everything that feels uncomfortable and strange. We have to remember who we are, life expressing itself at all times. Now, during the stage of babies, my role was that of primarily milk dispenser, diaper changer, and lullaby singer. Mother, may I keep you up all night, make you gag, and rock you to sleep? How many of you have wished that you could sleep through the infancy stage of your dreams and desires and awaken to a fully grown vision? Well, you have to love only the midnight feedings of your imagination and those sleepless nights when those ideas are just pouring out of you. You have to forgive everything. Forgive yourself for not wanting to do the dirty work and wishing it was easier. You have to remember who you are. You are a divine creative intelligence. Now, during the stage of toddlers, my role was that of primary guardian against accidents, hide-and-seeker player, and nurse and Band-Aid applier. Mother, may I fall off swings, hide from you and make you find me, and cut and scrape myself and cry unsolably. So how many of you are hiding your dreams away for fear that they won't work out? Or you're playing it safe, hiding yourself to protect yourself from the world? You have to love only your imperfections and your shadow sides. Forgive everything and everyone that tells you that you can't have what you want or that your dreams are silly. You have to remember who you are. You're seekers of truth, guardian angels, nursing and nurturing your dreams to bring them to fruition. Now, during the stage of adolescence, my roles were that of hair braider, homework grader, and mac and cheese maker. So, Mother, may I test your beauty school knowledge? See if you really are smarter than a fifth grader, and have you buy stock in Kraft Foods. So how many of you are letting your emotions and thoughts tie you up into knots? Give yourself failing grades for not being perfect, or refuse to try something new or different? You have to love only the twists and turns that life takes you, right? Or you don't even know where you hope you would get. You have to forgive everything. Forgive yourselves for not making always the grade or getting stuck in the yellow muck. You have to remember who you are. You are perfection. Spirit doesn't give out grades. You get 100% for just showing up. And the last stage that I'm going to talk about is the one that I'm presently in, which is that of teenager. And my roles are overseer of all things social media, reminder of duties and deadlines, and chauffeur and driving instructor. Mother, may I post inappropriate comments and pictures for all the world to see? May I forget to do my chores, assignments, dishes, you just fill in the blank. And may I have you drive me to the mall, to my friend's house, to dance? Again, just fill in the blank. So how many of you are posting inappropriate thoughts into your conscious and subconscious mind for all the world to create from? Forgetting this mission statement and driving yourself crazy in the end. Love only. Beautiful, uplifting, inspiring, supportive ideas, words, thoughts, beliefs about yourself and others. Forgive everything that is not for your highest good. Living your life is not a chore, it's a blessing. Remember who you are, God. And for God's sakes, do it now. Don't make me call your mothers. Namaste. Thank you.
Thank you, Ellen Contente, Caressa McElhaney, and Mira Sala.